So for our sheet metal, we're going to go to our custom ribbon tool. It's already set. All right. I have it in point mode, which is good for laying your sheet metal down. Because what I used to do is just do mixed input, and I would just freehand it. So let me show y'all something. We're going to change the color. Let's do something that's going to pop off the table. Blue is, well, mm, it's like a fuchsia. We do like a mauve or something. Here, let's see how this looks. That's a little too hot. I don't like that. What's this? Okay. It's cool. It's just maybe I need to do gloss. Let's see how they look in gloss. Oh God, that's sweet. It's actually pretty damn good. Okay. I don't know. I like that. Hmm. What I'm concerned about is the surface read. I still want the surface to read well. I like this. Okay. We're going to go with pearlescent grape. All right. So the way I used to do it, I mean, oh, let's go back. All right. So let's do our layer. We're going to say main body sheet metal. Okay. All right. We don't need the rough anymore. So as a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and delete this layer. All right. And then we're going to go back to main body sheet metal. Okay. Okay. There it is. All right. So what I used to do was I would just do it like just free handed. Oh wait, I'm still in point mode for some reason. Hmm. There you go. All right. So I used to just do it like that. Right. And then I would select my ribbon that I made, convert it to a subdivision, and then I can start manipulating the CVs. So I can start doing it like that. All right. That does take a while because with the ribbon tool, if you're doing it freehand, um, I think there's a tendency for it to you kind of lose yourself within a ribbon, like that. You have less control over it. Uh, Granted, if you've been doing this for a while and your hand and eye coordination is good within Gravity Sketch, then you could probably freehand it pretty well and then manipulate the CVs from there. Um, or what we can do is do a point mode and you can control it a lot better. So I'm gonna show you all what I mean. Something like that, maybe. So you have better control over the CVs and then you can extrude. Wait a minute. Oh, you got to convert it to a subdivision first. So what you do, you highlight your ribbon, um, hit edit on your left controller, and then if you go to menu, that's that purple button, you do menu, convert to subdivision, it's going to allow you to extrude your surface or your CVs, and then you can start developing your um, surface from there. like that. Okay. So with that, this transition, we're going to have some problem solving. The one thing we want to do is stay away from tries. I try to, when I'm doing subdivision, I try to stick with quads instead of tries. To me, it helps keep the surface smooth. There we go. Divide. Boom. Okay. All right. So what we'll do when we get to this transition here, I'm going to do the wheel flat, and that's going to, with that, I'll be able to establish a certain number of CVs to keep it nice and even, and then from there, I'll be able to roll that uh the wheel flat into the body. So what we're going to do is just continue developing our surfaces here. The cool thing about this program, it does allow for you to do some problem solving. There we go. So do like that, do like that. Mm, yeah, I guess that'll work. All right, so I think I'm gonna leave that there. Oh, and then here, okay. All right, so now we're getting some shape in there, and all I'm doing is just extruding. So we're going to run into some issues here, and I need to, do some figuring out with that because typically the hood line, the bonnet line should be a bit. I don't know. It's still a little flat in here. Like when I go to, let's say if I go back to edit mode and I just extrude over to the wheel flat, that's a bit flat. I'm not a fan of that. So that's where we have to do some troubleshooting with the design itself. Because typically, I mean, you can, I don't know, it's really flat unless I, so if it did happen like that, I don't know, it's still not much separation from the fender over to the hood. The hood should be raised a bit. So um let's see. If we raise the sheet metal, it'll look something like that. Right, which would be proper, and then do something where, oh, we gotta, there we go. And then come down maybe something like that. Okay. All right. So we got options, and then of course you can move your CVs accordingly. All right. So, but you see, that gets a little wonky. That's not attractive at all. So, what we need to do, we need to get rid of some faces, and that's just going to be part of our troubleshooting. Ah, it looked like I duplicated a body. Yep, I did. Okay. I don't know how that happened, but it does happen sometime. All right. So let's go back into, let's see. We have another transition. So this is a flat. Wait a second. Okay. Actually, what I need to do. Hmm. Oh, I see what I did. Okay. So I got to move some stuff around. No biggie. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, I like that better. It's a little dramatic, but to me it works. Okay. And now what we can do now, easy way to select, instead of selecting each CV and extruding downward to create this flat that we see on a sketch, what we can do is select all of them. So you hold down this trigger and you double tap. You do like actually you could just select it once. There you go. And then while you're holding that trigger, you press this one, and then you hold this trigger, and then press this trigger to extrude downward. But you have to pull with it. There you go. See that? Now, keep in mind when you extrude from a selection tool, the original selection is going to be still there. So if you try to extrude again, you'll be extruding from that segment versus the new one. So you have to click in the air, use your trigger, click in the air, and then reselect that one to make, and then extrude again. So that's really the only way that's going to work. Okay. Just straighten it out, extrude downward. I'm using the rotation tool with this. It's going to make our life easier. Here we go. Something like that. Because we can always use a plane to straighten that out. So I'm not tripping on that. All right. And then I'm going to move this back in. Boom. Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to make the wireframe visible. And this is our progress with our main body. I'm going to make it visible again. And then we'll keep going. So what I need to do, we need to edit this surface. We're going to use the crease tool. We're going to see where we at. I'm going to use a crease. All right. Now, if we go back to make this invisible, now we got a more refined body line, a body style right here. Okay. Now, it's supposed to be a flashlight I put here. I have to go back to our workspace. There's the flashlight. Because we should, I forgot to put it back in. I restarted the program. So we got a little light source. And then you can anchor it. Okay. All right. All right. Oops. Making the car big. Okay. All right, cool. That's our light source. So um that's a powerful flashlight too. I'm kidding, of course. Well, it is pretty powerful in the program. We go back to our space, you can kind of see. So all right. It looks funny. So I'm gonna show y'all something. You see this trigger? If you okay, if you put your hand up to your Oculus, it's going to pop up with the visor, right? Now, if you press and hold the trigger, it's going to take away your POV, and that's how the Oculus look. That looks funny, and you could drop it on the ground, and then it should disappear. There you go. And then if you do it again, it reveals augmented reality, and you see. So check this out. I hit it against the car, and it actually bounced off. So just little subtle details I like. That's hilarious, actually. um, be able to manipulate, you know. So we need to go back to our layers. There we go. We're going to bring that back. And oh yeah, so we need to figure out what's going on with the wheel flats, right? Uh, let's go to our custom ribbon, and then we're in point mode. Okay, so we're going to continue using point mode, and I'm gonna do it from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like that. Now I can do the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So obviously I got to move some things around, but y'all get the point. All right. Now here's where this is going to be very useful. So we want, since we have the menu up, oh, we got to convert to subdivision. So let's do that. There we go. All right. Now we want to snap to other objects and splines. In this case, it's going to be spline. And with this, we'll be able to choose their CVs, and they're going to magnetize to the splines that we have created. That's why it's important to have a pretty decent wireframe. Okay. So we want the CVs to make sense. So far they don't, because I think I miscounted somewhere. Okay. There we go. So something like that. Something like that. All right, very good. Now, what we can do, we should, there it is. So this is tool belt, right? If you, it's a hot button, a hot key on your right controller. You see that hammer and that paintbrush? If you press and hold it, you can go through the little sub menu. Well, this is the menu. Um, and then we're going to do merge and separate. So what you do, you so just hover to that option, let the button go, and it's going to give you the option to combine surfaces or uh, so merge or separate. We're going to merge. There we go. All right. So just press the tool belt button again, and it's going to take you back to whatever your default uh, starter, what your default selector is, which is the loop edition. So from here, we can start developing our body side into the wheel flats. But you want to do that first. Oh, you know what? Let me see. Yeah, yeah, we'll do that because I can always do a wheel flat for that. I don't need to. Um, you know what? Since I duplicated the wheel flat from the wireframe for the wheel flats from the front to the rear, I'm gonna do the same thing with the sheet metal. So but I'm gonna have to separate. I'm gonna have to separate the bodies again. So all I'm doing is just highlighting this body. That's going to separate it from this one. Now we'll be able to do a selection. Okay. And then we can duplicate. Let's see. Okay, let's try that again. All right, duplicate it and then drag it to the rear. All right, right about there. That way, okay, we can go and snag it over to our wireframe for this wheel flat too. There we go. We're trying to streamline the surface. I'm sorry, streamline the process here. So yeah, that looks good. All right. Now, since we're in selection mode, we can merge this body, then this body. Boom. Hit the check. And now all of these are in the same design space. They know each other now. So we can start manipulating. We're going to add CVs there. Move that over. All right. Watch this. All I'm doing is extruding this surface here. We're going to have to subdivide. There we go. And then there we go. All right. We messed up somewhere. Okay. All right. So let's go here. You know what? We don't have to do that. Because here's the thing, too. You don't want to add too many CVs. It's going to bog down the system and it's going to complicate some things early on. So you don't want to have too many CVs. If you can help it, we're going to add. But at the same time, the surface still has to make sense. So you just got to be reasonable with the way you, you know, add them in and take them away and all that. Let's see, so that means, and we want to keep it as quads. So we want to add here. Boom. There we go. Now we have, so we have to add one here. Boom, boom. And then this is the last quad. Boom. All right. Now we want to add a crease. And all I do is access the tool belt. You press and hold, hover over, release, and you have a crease. Now you just select the lines, press select the check mark, and we're going to go to layers, and we want to see how it looks without the wireframe. So we're getting some body now. It's looking good. It's looking promising. Now here's the thing: when you start joining surfaces, you might lose some of your creases. So you may have to go back in and add them in, like here. There we go. All right, and then we're gonna one here. We'll do something like that. There we go. Nice. Now we don't have to have a crease there. Let me see. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, that's cool. It kind of fades into the wheel flat. If you do a crease and it runs into the wheel flat, you might get like a pinched surface. It may or may not work out. We'll leave that for now. I'm gonna choose a brighter color. I'm gonna lighten the hue a little bit. And then we're going to access the tool belt. We're going to paint it. There you go. Do the same thing. Okay, it's all connected now. Okay. Okay, yeah, I could kind of see it better. Then, of course, I got the flashlight here so I can, we can check everything here. So there we go. All right. Now we need to do the same thing here. So we need to do some subdivision. I'm just connecting CVs. Wait a second. Okay. So here we go. I see what's going on. I'm gonna connect this one. I'm gonna leave a space because if you look here, if we want to keep it in quads, there's going to be a space here in order for us to extrude into this quad. Like I said, it's got to make sense. I know, this is just for the sake of getting your vehicle from, sketch or from 2D or whatever to 3D, but it's still got to make sense. So you got to be careful with that kind of stuff. It's little details. All right, so we got let me see, one, two. We got too much going on here. So hmm, that means I will have to add one here. There we go. Add one there. All right. Nope, that's still wrong. Okay. One, two, three, four, five. Which means I'm gonna have to add one here in order for it to make sense. That appears to be the case. Yep. Okay. And then what I do like that. There we go. All right. Now, what this tells me, if you look at um, the line segments and the CVs and how they line up, this tells me that this is sagging badly, and we don't want that to happen. So we need to push this up here so it can make sense. Right now, it doesn't. It's looking a little cheap. Okay. This is going to give it a better shoulder line as well. There we go. All right. So if you look here, it's actually starting to come alive. Also, this portion is going to help set us up for our greenhouse too. Okay. Now we want to be able to see some of the shoulder. So I'm going to raise the belt line a bit. The belt line is where the greenhouse typically meets the body, or the shoulder, I should say, where it meets the shoulder of the body. Here we go, something like that. All right, that's getting there. So there we go. Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. We got a body. It's looking good. We got a light catcher here. We're going to have to make some alterations to that, but again, not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. All right, we're going to add a crease here, and then we're going to crease up the uh, wheel flat so it can make sense. There we go. All right. So far, that's what we have. Got highlight tracking through. That looks pretty good. That's about what I want. Got highlight tracking through here. It softens up right about there. Still retaining the body lines that I wanted. It shows in there. And then this also helps me with my sketching too, because granted right now, and it's no knock to gravity sketch, but the lighting and the highlights is in Gravity Sketch. It's not going to be as good as like what you would find in Blender or um, VRed or Alias, where you can uh, really get some feedback from the environment, with the lighting and everything. So, like again, it's no knock to Gravity Sketch in that way, but again, it's just to kind of get your point across and to give you an idea of how your highlights track through what it gives you an idea of what your body surface is doing. So, but I'm cool with it because when I go to resketch this after, uh, developing the vehicle and everything in Gravity Sketch, it's going to look better because I know how the light tracks through versus me just trying to figure it out off the top of my head when I was doing the initial sketch. So this really comes in handy for, just stuff like that, just for, refining your sketch. The only thing I see with designers when they doing the sketching, especially quick sketching, they may have lines and surface transitions that don't make sense. They're kind of just, going to nowhere. So uh, when you refine your body, sometimes you can go back and refine your sketch too, because you see what's really going on as opposed to trying to figure it out for yourself, and it may or may not make sense. So it really comes in handy. A lot of designers actually sketch over their 3D models, believe it or not, especially for the sake of getting proportions right and again lighting and things like that. Yeah, it happens quite often. Okay. All right. So I gotta fix all that. I'm not gonna spend all that time on video fixing this. Just to kind of get the point across. All right. So what we need to do then is bring back our frame. We're gonna go back to our layer and make it visible, and we're gonna speed this up because I don't want to take up too much of y'all time, honestly. So, all right. So we're going to go around to the front. We're going to start working out the front end to get that squared away. We have to make this make sense up here. So that's going to include raising the hood line up a bit to create some separation between the hood and the fender, right? So again, even though this is a quick model, we still have to make sure everything makes sense with this. So what I'm doing now is extruding. Let me see. I'm doing some extrusions at the moment, so And then also another thing to make sure when you're doing this is just stick to the script, right? With what I understand, with from what I understand when it comes to modeling and subdivision, you want to stick to quads. You can get away with triangles, but if you're not careful, they have a tendency to create pinch points, and you definitely want to avoid those if you can help it. But other than that, okay. So let's see. We'll do a quick one. So what I do, I hold down the tool belt, go over to selection, select. If you hold down this trigger and select this, you can select both of these segments at the same time. And then you just extrude over and just carry it over to center line. Okay. And then from there, you can subdivide as necessary. So all I did was just tap the tool belt and then default back to loop addition, which is going to allow us to uh, divide this into more faces, right? So you're working with faces. I'll show you faces, line segments or edge loops, and then you have vertex or vertices. So another thing about working in sub D, you want to count the faces, right? Back here we have quite a few faces, but we have quite a few edge loops. The reason I have so many edges in here is because we got a little bit of drama back here when you start getting into some of the more detailed work. So that's why. Oh, let me add this. I think I'm missing a. There it is. It's missing a crease or two. So um, we got quite a few here. So what's going to end up happening? Well, you know what though? We won't have to worry too much about this because what I'm going to most likely end up doing is creating a separate body for the greenhouse from the the main body. So we won't worry too much about that at the moment, but just for future reference, if you decide to merge the main body with the greenhouse, then you're going to have to make sure your vertices and your edge loops add up. Otherwise, you're going to run into some issues. So right now, I'm just extruding these edge loops, and then this is going to create our hood line, well, our hood or a bonnet, depending on where you're located. Let's see. Here, honestly, we can move this a little forward. So, what I want to prevent from happening is creating a heavy nose. So I noticed with a lot of designs, especially these days, there's a lot of nose heavy uh, designs that are out right now. And I know you got regulations and everything where you still have to consider things like, your bumper beam and you may have different modules that, within the bumper cover that may, cover for air roll. They may be mechanically driven for the purpose of air roll, things like that. Like you got things going on inside of here. So uh, that could be why the overall design language of cars in this day and age of, I guess, shifted. And then one thing I noticed too with a lot of designs with the front fascia, instead of the headlight, being a main unit, right? And you may have like a little fog light down here. I noticed that they have like in place of the headlight, uh, yeah, in place of the headlight, they have now, they're like daytime running lamps, right? And then they would have the headlight be a little lower, and it's like its own separate unit, almost to like where you would have to access that headlight from behind the wheel well. So I don't know. I've seen quite a few things. I try to stay on top of what's going on in design, in automotive design or whatever. Even though technically, professionally, I'm not a designer, um, but I try to still stay on top of everything. It's good to just be in the know about what's going on around you. So I've always had that thirst for knowledge, so that's kind of like in me to do. Um, but I digress. We're going to continue working here. Okay, going to create a crease. There we go. Then we're going to do another one. Nope, that's not going to work. Okay. Extrude. I'm going to do another extrusion. Right now, I'm just let's see, what is this going on? No, that's not right. I gotta try that again. Something happened. Ah, I see what happened. Okay. So now keep in mind there are going to be portions of this tutorial where I may just go silent. And at that point it's going to be a time lapse. So I just want you all to bear with me. All right. So we have something going on with our front end. It's nothing too crazy, but this is pretty much what I was shooting for. Just a general shape for now. I didn't want to get into, all of the like really high detailed stuff, but this is what we're looking at for the most part. Let's go to our layers and we're gonna shut off the wireframe and just check this out for a second. So this is what we have going on. Again, nothing crazy. Little front splitter or whatever. The headlights again would go normally they would go like somewhere up in here, but I was gonna try to get some more shape going in the hood, from the cowl area to uh, maybe 3/4 of the way into the hood. So I gotta get some more stuff going on. Now, here's the thing. So we're at a point now where um we want to do the greenhouse. Okay, so I want to show you all how to get the greenhouse started. Now, the way I've been doing it as of late is um, with the greenhouse. Again, I want it to be a bit realistic, right? I want the occupants to be able to fit inside and everything, be in their seating positions in order for the overall the design to make sense. So I'm gonna do couple more alterations, and then we're going to get right into it. Just see a few things. I'm gonna finish all this up later. I still got to add the area for the license plate, and then it's going to be a rear diffuser, um, exhaust pipe, stuff like that. So I'm gonna put that in later. But this is what I got going on so far. So